All right, we ready to get started? Who is ready to unlock autonomous reasoning to transform your business logic into reality? Woo! I do apologize if I raise my arm and it blinds you. So I do apologize ahead of time for that. So okay, we'll get started. There's a couple more people coming in here. So who can agree with me that it takes too many clicks to build something on the Salesforce platform? Anybody? Yeah, I agree there. So what we're talking today is kind of a shift from that kind of functionality of clicking to build things, and more of an intent-driven development. And we're going to talk about that. Instead of telling Salesforce what to build and how to build it, we're going to give it the intent on what you want to build. And so we're going to walk through that today. All right, forward-looking statement, of course. This is my favorite slide of the whole thing. I always get this slide, it's my favorite. Please make all your buying decisions based on currently available products and services. All right. And so who are we? So I'm Jeff Douglas. I'm the product manager for Agentforce Vibes. Did anybody see Agentforce Vibes in any of the demos this week at all? Everybody did good. Okay, good. My job's done. I'm going to leave now. So yeah, it's all over the place in the demos. The keynote had it in there as well. I think it's going to be great today. We'll see how Agentforce Vibes and setup for the Agentforce work together. It's going to be a fantastic presentation. My buddy Manish is here. He's going to talk a little bit more about stuff, but let's go ahead and get started. So first, I want to start from the end of the beginning to thank you all for coming today. It's a long trip to get here. You could be doing other things with your time right now, so we appreciate you coming here, listening to us talk about probably the most exciting things in our lives right now. So like I said, we're going to be building a revenue generation application. So it's more of a intent-driven development using Agentforce for setup, or setup with Agentforce Vibes. So like I said, more of a intent, not clicks.code through all these things here. And what we're going to be building is a revenue commitment tracker. So this is something that is important to a lot of people who manage opportunities, is like, how do I know how much of my revenue is fully committed? And so we're going to be walking through the application today. So first we're going to go through the Agentforce for setup. Setup with Agentforce, and then that's where like administrators would configure objects and security and the presentation, the flow layer, and then we'll move into more of an Agentforce Vibes where we work on the presentation, the UI, a lot of that LWC goodness that you see here, and a lot of the interactability as well. So, all right, so we're gonna show you more of the tools that people are using in this new way of actually building applications. So it's a new way. It's more of a partnership than a developer does this, and then an admin does this. You're going to see how on one side we're going to have Devin, who's a Salesforce admin. They're going to work on defining the custom object and some of the validation rules and the field types itself and the flow, all that kind of experience that you would see normally from an administrator side. You're going to define that, security as well. And then Alex, who's on the other hand a developer, who's going to actually set up the application by using the logic in the UI and creating a custom application with Lightning components. So I'm going to hand over to Manish, and he's going to start off with, is it Manish or is it actually Devin?
Well, we'll go with both for now. Okay, thank you, Jeff. My name is Manish Agarwal. I'm one of the PMs on Setup with Agentforce. If you came to the session looking for Cheryl, she is here. In case you did look at for the speaker name, and Cheryl, so she's here. She's going to help us with any question or answers. So again, I have been with Salesforce for over 12 years. I started my journey as an architect, so Setup is very close to my heart. There are some of them might know that 2013, we have just one interface, one experience, so it was much easier to just know the setup. It's one thing, and it has become challenging as the products have evolved. So some of those challenges I'm going to talk about, like why are we focusing on setup? And a few things here. So these are some of the things which we have heard directly from you. Cheryl will agree with me. We call it hundreds of pages, but I think we counted last time. It was like more than 1,300 pages, actually, just for setup. And Cheryl makes this one line which I loved. She told me in the morning, the only thing which is consistent about setup is our inconsistent experiences. So I love that statement she made in the morning. And the last thing is the scattered documentation. We have great documentation. We have help.salesforce.com. We have developer.docs.com. We have architect.salesforce.com. We have a lot of scattered documentation, but for an admin and a developer, it's a lot of fields, a lot of places to go to find that documentation. So those are some of the challenges we are trying to tackle as part of our new setup with Agentforce. And this is if you are familiar with Homer Simpson, this is one of the screenshots from there. And you can see, put yourself as an admin right there, and we want to make it easy for you so that you're not looking at this at all our setup like that. So what are we doing? With Setup with Agentforce, our main goal is to complete your admin task much faster. As Jeff pointed out earlier, there are a lot of clicks we do. And so my goal today is to show some of the demos, because Jeff already put together what are the things which we are trying to focus on. We wanted to make this session powered you from admin plus developer. These days, the lines are getting pretty blurred, so you can have one person who's doing everything with the tools, but we just wanted to show. And we're also making powered you calling it powered you, because even Setup with Agentforce plus Agentforce vibes, I think is a powerful together, so that's why we want to show it together. So what are we bringing with Setup with Agentforce? First, we want to make your life much easier that you can ask anything to the setup in a very natural language. So you can just write something which it wants to do. Maybe it's a user access information you want. Maybe it's you want to create a new flow. So thus easily you can ask the thing. Second is in-context help and navigation. This is very close to my heart because I'm the PM for this particular feature. The reason we build this is, and right now we only have product documentation, is we don't want you to go search for something on help.salesforce.com or when you're doing work in the admin persona. So we want to make sure that we can bring help to you rather than, or we can provide much more contextual help on what. So for example, if you're creating something, maybe a permission set, and you can ask, how do I create a permission set, or any question you have. Maybe you're a new admin right now. We want to make sure that you can just ask that question directly there, and we can bring that help to you. And maybe and you can try this today. We can provide you the links directly so you can find out. The other key piece is the navigation. As I said, there are 1,300 places just for legacy setup, but there are then a lot of Go pages also which we have. So we want to make sure that you can actually go to the correct page much easier. So in my demo, I'm not showing, but if you go up and play with yourself, you will see that you can actually ask, for example, you can ask, how do I set up a custom domain? It's not only going to give you the help context, but it also will give you the link to go directly to that page within the setup. And the last is our experiences. So we have redesigned the setup homepage right now. So with the setup with Agentforce, the homepage will look very different. It's not static anymore. It gives you a lot of things you can, as an admin, can look at it, like login information, Apex information. A lot of errors happen for the different login things. It's right in front of you, and you can ask the Agentforce to help you with that. Now, there were a lot of sessions, so I did not put a roadmap slide because we wanted to make it more demo-based this session, but I wanted to talk about some of the timelines of where we are in our journey with Setup with Agentforce. We went closed pilot at Dreamforce last year, and then we went beta 1, which we're calling in mid-January, and we just launched in mid-March or end of March, the beta 2, and we are going GA with Dreamforce. But the reason I'm showing this slide is whatever you see today, whatever feedback you have, we are actively developing, so your feedback is very important to us. We are making whatever we have learned from pilot and beta 1, we are already incorporating in current beta 3, beta 4, and by GA. So it's active development, so it's much easier to build something and fix something early. So that's why the feedback is very important. And we are currently in beta 2, but beta 3, which is going to be very interesting for us because we are actually re-architecting a lot of backend for it. So it will be very interesting, which is in June, big milestone for us. So some of the tasks which are available today you can do today are object management, flow management, user access management. I'm not going to name all of them, but these are some of the common tasks which an admin can do. There's a list of things you can do it here, but our help documentation is really good. I have a QR code at the end of my slides here, which we will go through, which you can take. And it gives you also the utterances which you can use so that you can actually start asking those utterances, and I'm sure you will find your own utterances, what you need to do, but that will help. The 4 items which are highlighted in orange is the demo I'm going to do to help Devin build the object using the Setup with Agentforce, to build a flow using Setup with Agentforce, build a permission set, as well as give access to some of the users using the user access. And the last is, my favorite, is the formula management. I don't know, when I was at a customer, we were implementing Service Cloud, and they have a formula which took me close to 2 days to figure out what it's actually doing. And one of the things which I really love about formula management is you can ask it, and it tells you what exactly it's doing. So that is something which I will show. All right. I'm going to play videos. The reason for playing videos is I'm not doing a live demo is because then I know everything works. And I'm not relying on internet. So that is my two reasons. But whatever I'm typing and whatever I'm showing video, it's all live code. So you can actually take my same utterances and put it in your sandbox or wherever, and it will work exactly for you. So I just want you to call out, like, the reason I'm doing video is mainly to make sure that I'm not using the internet. So my first is the foundation. So I'm playing the role of Devin. I'm going to build the Salesforce object here, and I'm going to build. First, I'm going to show you creating custom object, but then I'm going to say that I forgot some fields. I'm going to add those fields directly to that object again. And the last I'm going to do as a field, I'm going to add to the opportunity object. So let's play the role of Devin. I'm going to try to full screen and I hope it works. All right. The first thing we're going to do is create the custom object. So here I'm going to pause for a second, and I'm going to talk to what I have written down here. Now, I've just put a prompt here. So this is, I should have the home page, but I just started from here in my recording. So in this, I have like how I would like you to create a revenue commitment object, which is our target. And we also want to create two fields, amount committed, and we also want to create a field which has some values, initial deposit, phase one. As you can see, I did not tell what kind of field is it. I did not say anything to it. So I'm going to just play it. And this is all live code, and you can actually put the same commitment. So what it first do is it's actually is smart enough to know what type of data type I need. So for the amount committed, it already says the currency type, and for the other one, it says pick list. And right now, it's in draft mode, so it means it's human in the loop is always there. So I'm still the boss here who's going to decide whether it's is correct or not. So I'm actually checking here whether all the values here. And the one thing which I don't know about you guys, when I was actually just doing it like dev time, I never put any help text, frankly. But I'm happy that the Agentforce is putting help text for me on all the fields. And also, I'm just checking whether all the values are there. So once I'm happy with it, I'm going to go back. I'm going to confirm it. And now it's actually going to create that object for me with these two fields. So now the object is created. It also created all the corresponding stuff, which it gets by default. Next I'm going to do is I'm going to create some additional fields to this object. I forgot two fields. The two fields which I'm going to add is I'm going to pause again to just show you is I'm going to create the opportunity lookup field, and I'm also going to create another pick list for status, which Jeff will show how he uses it later in that. So I'm going to let it run. Again, it's not just going to execute it. It's going to again ask me. It's going to generate the data model, and it's going to showing me that the two fields exist. These are the two new fields, and I'm going to check here whether a lookup is going to the correct record or not, and also the pick list values. So once I'm happy, I'm going to hit confirm. And those fields and the object is created. Now I'm going to go to the object manager just to show you that the object is created, and all those 4 fields are also created as part of them. So I was going to ask a question. How many clicks would have taken you to just create an object by this time? So that's the beauty of setup with Agentforce is that this can help you with that. And you can put a lot of things more than that. Like you can add, probably will have prompts which can have fields already described. In my case, I'm just letting setup do with that for me right now. The next piece which I'm going to show is, I show the custom object. I don't want you to feel that if we only support custom objects. I wanted to show something for standard object too. So we're going to add a formula field to this custom standard object. So here, just I'm adding a percentage field. I want to tell the percentage field because I want to let it know that what data type to use. And it's going to go ahead and create the draft again for me. And then I did cheat a little bit. So I don't know whether you guys paid attention to the last one. So what do you think wrong here, which I did? Anybody?
Source field, the field that the formula needs to refer.
I couldn't hear you.
The field that the formula needs to refer.
It's what?
The field the formula needs to refer. You didn't specify that.
I did not, but there's, so when I was doing the demo, it's not an error, just when I was recording this, I already created the field already. So it says already existing here, so it should have said new. So that's the error on my part. So I should have actually recorded. So it's again, it's just a demo thing, which I just thought maybe somebody will catch it. So it says already existing there. So in my demo, it should say new. So mainly, but it will create the field. I did change a little bit in my demo, just a small, which I did not make it part of the demo. So that's why you will see it will say proceed. I did change the help text, which I did not record, but it's basically creating a custom field on the opportunity object. So that is the first phase of it, which is the creating the object. I'm going to look at the watch quickly, because I'm running out of time, so I'm going to still on the first one. So the second set is, sorry, go ahead.
Custom object has shown the existing fields, but on standard object, you will not show the existing fields.
So it can, but I was only asking it specific should say new. Yes, you're right. That will take feedback. I don't know whether we should show all the 100 fields or not. I don't know the answer to that. So because I think for the custom object, there's only like less than 4 fields at that time, so it probably showed it. But for existing object, I don't know. I'll check with that. I don't know the answer to that one.
Well, in the custom object, it was only because they were already in the context of the.
It was in the context of that.
And if you went into it fresh and just said add fields with custom object, I'm assuming it would only show you.
Actually, he's right. Yeah, you're right. So the reason it only showed the 2 existing ones because I was in the context of that same interface. If I go again, it will not show those 2 either. OK, I'm going to go quickly to this one. I'm not going to tell any stories about this one. So permission set creation, I'm going to let it run. I'm just going to talk about it. So as an admin, when you're deving, I mean, the thing is, yes, you're admin, but you still not get access to the fields and sometimes the CRUD of the custom object. So we just want to create a permission set here. So I'm going to tell in the natural language to create a permission set and give read, create, edit, and delete access, and also get field level security. So these are the things which I'm telling it to do. So it's going to create me a permission set. Again, it doesn't do anything without the human interface. So now I'm happy with it. I'm going to go create the permission set. Now, there are things which we are still doing, which we are still doing things which will come in certain things. There are bugs which we're fixing. And I just want to make it real. So you will see that when I go to permission set here, and I will pause there when I go there. So here, if I show you, even though in my prompt I asked to also set the field level security for everything to edit, you can see it didn't do any of those. It only did the read, create, edit, delete. So that is something which I could have checked again with the prompts, but since I'm already evaluating, it was much easier for me to just do it here. So again, certain things we're still fixing. So that is one of the examples where even though I set the field level, it did not work. Now, I also want to kind of, sorry, when you're recording, OK. So the other piece which I just walked through was if you want to ask, if maybe you have, say, 2 months later you forgot which permission set to use, you can actually ask the prompt, can you tell me which permission set give access to a certain object? So it will tell you which object so it will actually help you with the permission set assignment to do. And the last piece is, sorry, I didn't mean to go back. OK, I will just pause here. So the last piece, which I couldn't show because it moved, is the assignment piece. You can actually assign the permission set to any user, to groups, to queues, also using the natural language. So in my demo, which I couldn't show right now, it's blanked out on me, is I did assign the permissions to Devin, who was my admin, as well as Alex, so they have access to all the fields. And the importance of that is for my flow to show, because the next I'm going to do is actually I'm going to create the flow. If I want to create the flow, I want to make sure that I have access to all those fields, because otherwise my flow will not create correctly. So the next stage I'm doing for going through from the admin persona is I'm creating a flow. I'm just putting in natural language. I want to create a revenue commitment project flow for when the record is created or updated, and I want to have certain criteria. So I gave all the prompt, and I'm just going to say, go ahead and create the flow for me. So right now, it's not going to just execute. It's going to tell me, this is your flow prompt. Is that what you really wanted? I said, yes, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and confirm it. Once it's done, it's going to give me the link directly to that flow which we just created. So I'm going to open that flow just to make sure, and you don't have to take my word for it. You can see exactly what it does. So once it shows up, you can see I can verify that it's only on record is created updated. It has some of the things. And if I have not done the second step, the access step, I won't have seen the fields here. So that is the reason we are going in. Like if I was not using setup with Agentforce, I was an admin who was doing tasks, that is the same sequence I will use. That's the same sequence I'm using here. But for me, although I cut some part of the video, but it took me 30 seconds to create this flow. So I hope you can appreciate, like at least your first version of flow is much more faster. Now, I also point out there the flow itself has another agent in here, which you can actually call the flow agent. So if you want to refine it, you can actually refine it from here directly, that flow too. I'm just calling summarize flow, which actually was a great way to show, like if you want to put description in your flow, what it does, you can actually have the summarize flow and then add that to the description of itself of the flows. So if anybody else comes, they can actually say what it is rather than you writing. And the last piece is activating the flow. I just activated it manually, but I think that you cannot do activation right now using the LLM, but you can actually activate it manually. So that is the third step as a Devin I did. And the last step I'm going to do is the formula field. So this is, frankly, for me, if I'm going back to my past, I will say that this was one of the very good feature I liked. So I'm going to just creating a field manually right now. I'm going to create a formula field on an opportunity object, which we're going to show you. It's a deal commitment field, which we show you when Jeff shows his part. He will show all this, how it comes into. I'm just doing all the backend stuff right now. So I'm going to pause once I create. So when I actually have this formula, which I think is correct, other than that, I did type, when I copy pasted, I did put a semicolon in that by mistake, which was not intended. But that I put, and it will tell me there's a syntax error, which I will correct. But once you click the formula assistant, so when I'm going to click formula assistant now, what it does is it's analyze what's in my formula. It gives me exactly what's in my formula. Now, piece which I found it also will tell me there are probably use cases where it might not work for you. So one of the places is when I'm dividing the community revenue is null, it's going to blank out on me. So I just tell, OK, I'm getting errors. Please fix to safely handle cases where committed revenue is null. So it's not only giving me the description of it, it's also giving me what I should put. So this saves me a lot of time as an admin. I can just copy and paste it directly. And this is the formula which will take care of some of the cases, edge cases, which I'm not thinking of. So I've personally found this is really a great feature. And hopefully you, as an admin, will find it useful too. With that, as Devin, I have done my role, and I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Jeff. Alex.
All right. Thank you. That was awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
Great stuff. All right. Anybody use Agentforce Vibes here? Anybody use Agentforce Vibes? OK, I got my work ahead of me. OK. So Agentforce Vibes, if you haven't used it, is our new agentic development tool to supercharge developer productivity with Gen AI. So it's going to use natural language to code, so you can just describe in plain English what you want to build. And Vibes is going to take that prompt and it's going to convert that into code, configurations, a plan that you can use to deploy your code based on, every review is done by the developers, everything's confirmed by the developers, everything's approved by the developers as developers are in the middle of this whole process here. We have a couple ways to get Agentforce Vibes. It's available as a Visual Studio Code extension that you can run locally on your machine. It's also available, the same thing essentially is available as a browser-based version on almost every sandbox that you have access to. That's a paid version of a sandbox. So you can get up and running right away. I would encourage you to go down to the first floor to the hands-on station. There's a great Agentforce Vibes hands-on project you can do right there, about 15 minutes to figure out how things work, run with it, take it through its paces. I think you'll really enjoy it. All right, so we've heard from a lot of people that models don't always understand the details, the nuances of all the metadata on the Salesforce platform. So we've worked very hard the past 6 months to try to provide more metadata so that the models know how to build our different files and code and configurations. And so we've delivered a bunch of Salesforce skills that do that. So we have skills for metadata enrichment, metadata creation, how to create Agentforce agents. about 30, 40 different skills right now, and we're deploying more skills every day, it seems like. And those are going to help you build metadata code that's going to be deployable the first time and of a high quality. So that's one of the things we've worked on quite a bit. So one of the things we released a couple weeks ago was multimodal enhancements. So instead of just using text-based prompts, you can actually upload CSV files or Word docs or PDFs or images to the model, let them reason over it and perform the actions based on your intent. So I did a demo that you can see down in our booth downstairs where I took a spreadsheet with, I think it was 45 different fields and had it create a custom object with all those fields, add to the page layout, and create a permission set. So great way to use, to take a lot of this developer toil out of this whole process of creating new objects. You can also take a PDF that has a PRD of what you want to build for a new feature, and you can send that to Vibes, and it'll actually reason over that and start building that application based on what it found in the PDF as well. My favorite is working with LWCs. I've done this is actually one I did before. I had LWC, and I wanted to move some columns over and get rid of some columns. So instead of saying like, hey, move the third column over 2 pixels, move the right column header to the right 5 pixels, you can take a screenshot and actually draw on the image, send that image to Vibes, and it'll make changes to the HTML and the CSS to perform those modifications. So it's really quite awesome. We've got to demo that down in the booth as well. Okay, so I'm going to show a demo also. Like mine's not as awesome as Manisha's though, but we're gonna try to work through it. So you can tell I'm a developer because I'm using black mode here. I use dark mode here. Only a psychopath who's a developer uses white mode. So that's how you know I'm a developer. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually build an LWC that's going to be on the opportunity record itself. It's going to show a little circular lightning progress ring based on the amount of commitments that's been made for this opportunity. So people commit amount of money for this towards this opportunity, and it's going to change the colors and the ring size of the ring based on that amount, based on also what he had built with that flow. So it's going to leverage that flow that he just built. So as a developer or an admin in this case, I would have gotten a message from Manish, hey, all my stuff is done for the flow. Can you go ahead and create this LWC that shows the deal amount based on the values in this object by this ring itself. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give Agentforce Vibes this prompt here. It's going to go ahead and, I wish I could scrub forward in this, but I can't. It's going to go ahead and read that. I'm going to hit go. It's going to go ahead and start reading all my files in my directory, figuring out what's going on here. And it knows I'm going to be creating LWC, so it loads the Salesforce Agentforce skill for guiding LWC, so it knows how to create LWCs. It's going to start looking at all my files. It notices I've got these custom fields that Manisha built. Fantastic. It starts reading those, figuring out the dependencies, how they work together, and it's going to go out and start building my LWC. So it's building the JS file, the JavaScript file. It's building the HTML. Then it's going to build the CSS to deliver this as well. I'm going to speed this up a bit. OK, so we've got that there. We're going to create the LWC. All right, so all done there. So we got that complete. It says I built the JavaScript file. I built the HTML. I built the CSS. I've got the metadata for this as well. I implemented the circular ring based on your specifications. What do you want to do now? So I'm doing the task. So I'm going to start a new task because I also remembered that I'm going to have this used as a quick action. So I need to make sure I have the layout has all these fields on it to the page layout, so that way when it pops up, I have all the fields on the quick action, and I want to put my new fields on the left and the remaining fields on the right. So I'm going to create a layout real quick and make a change to that as well. It's going to start with the page layout. And it's going to come back in a second and say, I'm done with that. Needs to create it. Looks good. It uses the Salesforce skill for creating page layouts. And we're going to load that up. It's going to call the MCP server, get the content for the metadata about layouts, and use that. Send this big chunk back in the model so it has all the instructions it needs to build this layout, and it's complete. So then I think to myself, there was also a part where I had to actually, we had to add an amount for the revenue commitment. So I'm like, we should probably have a validation rule for that, so that way they don't enter anything less than 0 and kind of game the system. So I'm going to go ahead and set a new task, and I'm going to create that validation rule. And I'm going to put this in plain language, the validation rule. I'm going to say create a validation rule so you can't commit to this record if the amount committed is less than 0. So we're going to create that real quick as well. Takes about 15 seconds or so. Speed this up. There we go. Again, it uses the Salesforce skill on how to create validation rules. So the model, no matter what model we have, we send those same context in there so it has those rules on how to create validation rules. Successfully created that, so we're all done. So we got our LWC, we've got our page layout for a quick action, and now we've got our validation rule. Now I'm gonna go ahead and deploy this to my org. Deploying all 7 components. I'm gonna type the wrong command in while everybody's watching, and then we're gonna open this up as soon as we're done here. How much time are we going? We're doing pretty well on time, okay. All right, so that's all done. It deployed all that. We're gonna open up this org and take a look. Actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna run this in real time here. I got this part myself here. So this is actually the org. We're gonna refresh this. So you see I'm on an opportunity. And what happens is it reads this value over here based on the revenue committed. And it's gonna create this ring right here and have it fill this in based on the amount committed. So I'm gonna click the add milestone. I got my quick action right here. I'm gonna do initial deposit. I'm gonna do 15,000, and I'm gonna do, I think it's confirms what Manish set up. I'm gonna grab that, create that. Let me go back to here now. And now you see it. It's a little bit small. I should probably have Vibes go ahead and make this bigger, but we don't have time for that, so we're just gonna do that. But now we've got this. I'm gonna go ahead and change this to, I'll add another more. I'll add, let's see, another 50,000. And I'll mark that as confirmed. And then now it's gonna go from at risk to on track. That's great. How much do we have left? We've got 65% here. So let's add $35,000 and it should say that it's all done. And that we're 100% committed. Let's see. Look at that, I'm a great admin and developer. That's awesome. So that's how you can use more of intent-driven development and configuration of Salesforce instead of like going through every single page, all the clicks, set up the field of security, page layouts, create your flow. I think it's a way more of Salesforce development is going to be in the future as we're kind of going towards this direction where you're using a agentic model to help you with your tasks instead of telling it how to do everything. It uses its context to build applications based on your intent. So perfect timing. I did a great job going through here. We got about 7 minutes left. Does anybody, do I have a recap slide? Let's see if I have a recap slide. I do have a recap slide, I just recapped it. So a couple things you want to do with stuff with Agentforce. Manish has some great links you can go to here to get a new developer edition and try some different utterances as well.
You can try.
And then there's,
I'm just going to add one thing. You can actually put this in your sandboxes too today or any org because it is available. It's an open beta, so you can turn it on and try your own utterances too directly. But the utterances is a great link if you don't know what certain things are available. They are just examples, and we try to give as many examples so that you can have a head start on that.
And since we want to do both Agentforce setup and Agentforce Vibes, we have a short code for Agentforce Vibes. It takes you to all kinds of links and blog posts and videos and tutorials. I would also recommend to go to Trailhead. There's a great project that you get a org that's broken, and with the Trailhead project, you go through and fix that org with Agentforce Vibes. It's a great thing as well. And hands-on area down there has a way to get started as well. So